Hello, this is Kevin Rose, historian with the Turner Foundation and founder of Westcott's Summer Tour Series. For this week's virtual visit, we're here at Warder Library, Springfield's original Richardsonian Romanesque landmark from 1890. Enjoy.
On June 12, 1890, standing before a large crowd of Springfield citizens, industrialist Benjamin H. Warder formally dedicated the building that would become his most lasting legacy, the Warder Free Library and Reading Room. He addressed the crowd. I have kept prominently in view and considered of the highest importance a large and attractive reading room. My sympathies have been enlisted for the hundreds of young men employed in our shops, who, when not at work, only have the cheerless and confined quarters of their boarding houses. For them, and all classes of our citizens, I have provided a reading room as beautiful as the skill of the architect could make it, where all will be welcomed with that free welcome which comes with ownership. Benjamin Warder first floated the idea in 1882, pledging $50,000 for the erection of a free public library and mechanics institute, with the caveat that the city needed to secure a suitable downtown lot. Although there was considerable excitement about his generous pledge, years passed with no action. This changed in 1886. Strikes by champion workers at William Whiteley's E Street shops in late winter, followed by the Haymarket riot in Chicago that May, created renewed interest in a new reading room to benefit Springfield's working classes. Warder was closely connected with both labor disputes, and although generally well regarded by his workers at the Laganda Works, he likely felt deep concern and anxiety over the growing social unrest in the nation's industrial centers. 5 years after his initial pledge, Warder decided to take matters into his own hands. In 1887, he purchased 2 lots at the corner of High and Spring Streets, and personally hired Boston architects Shepley, Rutan and Coolidge to design a library. The firm was then supervising the construction of Warder's new residence in Washington, D.C., designed by their predecessor, Henry Hobson Richardson, shortly before his untimely death in April 1886. Springfield's first impression of their new public library was through a watercolor displayed in the window of Barr's downtown bookstore in June 1888. The Springfield Republic, while recognizing the building's beauty, was confused by the unusual design, calling it a combination of the Gothic and Doric styles. In reality, it was Springfield's first look at the firm's signature Richardsonian Romanesque style, based upon an architectural vocabulary that would influence nearly every major design in the city over the next 5 years. To construct the library, Warder turned to the Norcross brothers of Worcester, Massachusetts, the firm responsible for some of the nation's most important buildings, including Trinity Church in Boston and the Marshall Field Wholesale Store in Chicago. They had recently completed Warder's new residence in Washington, as well as homes for his 2 business partners, Asa Bushnell and John Glessner. Work on the Warder Library site began in the fall of 1888, and construction commenced the following spring. The project progressed on schedule, and the new library opened to the public on June 12, 1890. Warder Library is constructed of Ohio buff sandstone from the Amherst quarries outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and trimmed in Worcester and Kibbe sandstones from the Norcross quarries in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. The roof is covered in red Akron tile. Shepley, Rutan and Coolidge designed the library in an L-shaped plan. The shorter wing, facing Spring Street, contained stacks capable of holding over 50,000 books in its original configuration, and the longer wing, facing High Street, contained the well-appointed reading room. A 70-foot octagonal tower sits at the juncture, proudly announcing the library to the people of Springfield. The plan provided room for an ample grass courtyard, which leads visitors to the library's beautiful triple-arched entry porch. Here, the architects mixed red Kibbe and buff Amherst sandstones to create Richardsonian detailing reminiscent of the firm's earliest designs. During construction, the newspaper noted that the library was designed in the Romanesque style of architecture, depending more upon form and proportion for its beauty than upon unnecessary or meaningless ornamentation. Where ornament is required, it will, under the skilled hand of the carver, appear to have grown out of the structure from necessity. The architects used ornament to speak to the building's uses. Carved gargoyle-esque monkeys peek between columns on the porch, symbolizing the curiosity of library patrons. A princess greets visitors at the Spring Street entrance, evoking the thousands of fictional worlds contained within the library's walls. Above, at the roofline, a large owl perches on a man's head, causing him to scream, symbolizing wisdom attacking the ignorance of humankind. What is a library if not a place to satisfy your curiosities, get lost in a fictional world, or improve yourself through knowledge? Benjamin Warder understood the uplifting spirit that a free public library provided, one owned by the people for the people. At the dedication, Mayor Burnett accepted the gift. I speak the voice of all the people of this fair city today when I say that she accepts this grand building with profound gratitude to the donor. It will be the pride of this generation and of coming generations of her citizens. So long as this beautiful edifice shall stand to adorn and bless the city of Springfield, her people will hold in high honor and affection the name of Benjamin H. Warder.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to support these virtual visits or the many amazing programs by the Westcott Center for Architecture and Design, please consider becoming a member today. Thanks.